Hi everybody, just before we start this video, I want to quickly stop off to put a little caveat for some of the rules that we're going to be playing with in these videos. Now, at the time of filming, the rules are still in alpha, I believe. So
yeah, definitely.
Alpha, beta.
Well, really, they're
fluid.
alpha because that's one of the pledge levels is being able to do the beta rules.
Yeah. So basically, what we're saying in this is, if there are any changes to the rules that you notice from the videos to the final rulebook, it is because we're playing it really early on, and we're actually feeding in a little bit to the guys, and some changes are happening because of it.
Yeah, and if you have any comments about the rules, put them in the bottom, and it'll help us with developing the game.
Yeah. Now, we always do love putting out prizes, yeah? So, we have one up for grabs, and it's quite the funny one, okay? So, you may notice this character popping up in some of the videos. Now, I'll give you a good close look at him, like so. So this is basically a 3-up of one of the characters. This is Franz, yeah?
Yeah.
And what we've done is, we've hidden him in some of the videos. So, this one's going to be a little different, because as well as just doing your regular comments, you're going to have to see how many times he pops up during these videos and actually get a comment in on the final one as to how many times you think he has been in there. Now, we will only be counting from the final video, because that's where you'll have had the chance to see every time that he's been in. So don't go guessing before then, because you could get it wrong.
And not including this video.
Fair point. This little segment does not count, but the prize is something very cool. So one of the pledge levels for the Fabled Realms Kickstarter is going to be a beta weekend. So basically, whenever you take that pledge, it'll allow you and a mate to come and spend a weekend learning to play Fabled Realms.
Yeah.
And those people that come to it will be getting what's called the beta kit, right?
Yeah, they will be.
So what it is 2 sets of resin miniatures, 1 Eightfold Path, 1 Druggoi, 1 set of beta cards, and beta rules, yes.
And the beta rules?
Yeah, sorry, my brain went...
That's
so,
all right.
The prize is not actually to come to the event, because that would be a little bit silly. But whoever wins will receive that beta set, so that you and a mate can actually start getting into the game and learning to play.
Yeah, and this will be months before the eventual release of the Kickstarter product.
Yes. So the question is, how many times does our big version of Franz end up hiding in a video? So get your comments in, and we will see you a little later.
Hi guys, and welcome to another training match for Fabled Realms. I am joined by Adam, who will be my trainer for this one. And I believe Justin is learning the Druggoi.
Yeah, so Justin's Druggoi video should have gone out a week or so before.
Yep.
So now we've got you having the training as the Eightfold Path, I'm playing as the Druggoi. One thing we've done in this video though is that in each starter set or expansions for characters, you get 2 preset hero cards, or character cards, one as the hero and one as the leader. So we swapped it up a bit this time. So now instead of the sword character being your leader, you've got the guy with the morning star. Instead of the halberd guy being the leader, we've got the guy with 2 swords. So just to see how that goes. Again, we've started it in the, this is the beginning of turn 2. So last turn we've both moved on. I've done a little bit of extra, so I've only got 3 momentum to use or action points in this turn. And you've got your full 7.
Yep.
So again, like I said, I'm the active player. So as you would have seen in earlier videos, I'm going to activate a unit. I'm going to activate this unit over here with my 2 heroes and another Druggoi. So I'm going to I'm committing myself to doing a double action over here. So I'm starting to threaten this little gnome.
This unit and the gnome over here,
Yeah.
Okay.
So now you get a choice to react to that. So see if you've got moving your men in, or if you've got cards to use.
I could do a reaction now. Because this is a training match, I'm just going to say it, and then you can tell me if I can or not.
Yep.
So let me see. Down here, I think I have my gnome character right down here. I'll point at him without blocking him. And he's magic, so he can actually shoot.
Yes.
So I was thinking, if you're coming up, I could react by actually shooting at you and you get a bit closer.
Yes, so yeah, if you've got any magic spells in your hand, it's a good time to play them now, especially since I've called the action. So I've got no choice if you win to let you shoot at me.
Yeah. So I have one. So do I put that down now as a...
Yes, so what you do is that you're using one of your momentum, so you take one from the pool.
Okay.
And the target unit is you're going to place it on the unit that you wanted to target.
Yep.
So you can only make a hostile reaction against the unit that is activated. So you couldn't shoot this unit that we have over here.
Yeah.
You can only shoot this unit.
Yeah. So whatever one is the closest or is the threat, as you say, yeah. So I have a card I want to play. So will I just put it down?
Yes, so play it down. So then you say that you're playing which magic spell you're playing.
Okay, so I'm going to be playing Mind Shard.
Okay, that's a particularly nasty spell.
Yeah.
Because all other spells is that the characters, it's done like shooting attack. So it's like the first person gets hit and so on and so forth. Whereas Mind Shard, you get to choose the target and it's all against magic versus magic.
Yeah.
Gnomes are very magical. These two dudes are not as magical, so you might find that they've mind bulleted one of my characters. But it does only have a 15-inch range, but that doesn't matter, because at the moment I'm currently out of 15 inches.
Yep.
But we're going to, because this is conflicting action, we're going to do situation awareness tests. And if John wins it, he gets to dictate the order of play. So he can say, I'm going to cast a spell at the end of your turn.
All right.
Which means then he gets to do it. Whereas if I win this test, I will say to John, you're casting the spell now.
Yeah.
So what happens then if I win it is that John's spell goes back into his hand because he hasn't used it, but he still classes spending that momentum. So he's still spent the time in trying to figure out what he's doing.
Fire it, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So to do this, we're doing a situational awareness test. So we look at our highest character's eye stat.
Okay.
So you're looking for Rollo the little gnome.
Rollo has a blue and 2 white.
And I have a blue and 2 white. But because I'm doing a double action, you're going to gain a white dice.
Right, okay, so I'll have 3 white dice.
And then in this game, we're going to introduce bulky, which we've not done before. It's a little bit more of an advanced rule. So the more heavier armor you've got, the slower you become. And because my character has heavy armor and a halberd, he counts as bulky 1 for the halberd and bulky 1 for the armor, so it's bulky 2. So you're going to gain another 2 white dice.
Okay.
So you've got a very good chance of having this go through.
Right.
So we're going to make an opposed roll now.
Yep.
So I'm going to roll my dice first, and then you need to defend against my dice.
Okay.
So I've got a critical and 2 successes.
Yep.
So now you get to roll your dice.
Okay.
And we can see what you cancel out.
Let's slide you over a wee bit here, and I'll get a bit more room. Oh, wow.
So, as we can see here, if I bring my dice back in, John's critical takes out my critical. And those 2 cross swords take out those 2 cross swords.
And I still have one.
And he's still got that 1 sword. So by the sheer fact that I overexerted myself and I'm in heavier armor, meant that your gnome was able to do what he wanted to do. So you most likely now want me to move.
I would like you to move.
Yeah.
And then so let's go.
So now you get back to cast that.
Yep.
We'll put your momentum back now on to your gnome to show that he's done an action point, and now you'll cast it. So how this one works is that you get to make a direct magical attack against any of my models in that unit. So you could probably most likely definitely kill a Druggoi, but that's pretty much a waste of time. Or you can do it to the glutton. He's only got 2 white dice in magic. You've got 2 red and a white. Or you can do it to Carusi, the hero, and he's a blue and a white. The advice that I'd give you is I would potentially do it on my Druggoi, because the idea with when you're playing against Druggoi is take out their heroes as fast as possible. Because they're not as good without them. Whereas the Druggoi against the idea of them is to try and take out henchmen as fast as possible and build up the fear.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll be happy enough to fire at the big leader, so I'll be happy to do that for you.
So for magic, you're looking at the explosion stat on your character.
Okay, so 2 red.
And then, like always, we've been saying is that it's always best to look in traits and equipment to see what extra dice you get. But everything's symbolised, so it's easy to see.
Yep. So let me see here. Hammer is plus white to an attack, but would this count as that? Or
no, you're looking into the traits on him.
Oh, so the traits.
On his natural magical, which is plus 1 white dice.
Yep, plus 1 white.
So he's rolling 2 reds,
and a
white.
White. Okay. So let's have a go at this then, shall we? Oh.
So unfortunately,
not good.
John has particularly not rolled too well.
No.
But so I might be fine.
You might be fine.
So I'm going to roll my dice now. I could roll 2 blanks though, but as it is,
but you didn't.
I've got a success, which counts like that, and the crit, so he's safe.
Yep.
So that's 2 of my action points already spent. So now this unit can only take one more action, because the way that we determine how many actions a unit can take is if you looked at their crown, and it will be their level +1. So a white dice equals 1 point, a blue dice equals 2 points, and a red dice equals 3.
Yep.
He's only command blue dice, which is 2. So +1, you can only do 3 actions. So here, I could move to threaten your gnome quite badly. So if you do anything with him, I'm probably going to attack him. Or I could use it to move this unit up to bring in a more threatening pose from over here.
Yeah.
So I think, or I potentially have a magic spell that I could use.
Oh no.
So this is the thing that the cards do. So I'm now going to cast a card called Wave of Fear with 1 momentum on this onto your unit here.
Okay.
So that's my target unit. So you have some options now. You can now try and assault me with that unit. And then if you get into combat, you stop.
I actually
stop the magic from happening.
Okay.
Or you could bring up characters here, or if you had another spell with your gnome, you could cast a spell with your gnome.
Yeah. I'm just going to check my hand, actually, just in case there is anything I can use. But I believe... no, I believe I'm out for this one, actually. I don't think I have anything I can use.
Cool. So, so you could either just let me go through, or you could decide to do a double action with them to try and charge me.
I'm going to try the double action to charge, I think. So will that cost 2 momentum?
That will cost 2 momentum. So you can at most only ever do 2 actions in one go.
Yep. So I'll put my 2 down.
Yep.
As
So you're
target
targeting myself.
Okay.
So again, this is a conflicting action.
Yep.
So my situational awareness is a blue, white, and then you're doing a double action, so I get a white.
Yep.
And you've got a bulky armor, so I get another white. So your situational awareness.
So my awareness on this guy is standard is blue and 2 white.
Yeah.
But he's bulky 2.
No, he would. Oh, I'm bulky 2. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
Right.
I'm bulky 2, so you're going to gain 2 white dice as well.
Okay, so I will get 1 blue, 2 white plus 2 white.
Yes.
Okay, so 4 white dice in total. There's nothing else there that changes it. No, that's it.
So I'm rolling my dice first, and I've done okay, but if you get 1 crit and a success, you're going to be able to dictate the order of play.
Yeah.
So I'll take my missed ones away.
Okay, and I'll go with these.
So as it is, you didn't need the crit.
No.
Because your 2 swords took out my 2 swords.
And I got
you're left
one
with 1
through.
sword, so you can now dictate the order of play. Imagine you're going to want to charge me.
Oh, absolutely.
So my spell goes back into the hand.
Yep.
So, but now he also knows that I've got that spell.
Yeah.
And because spells can't be cast in combat unless they state specifically, he might be thinking now in my next turn is like, I don't want that guy standing around and shooting me with magic.
Yeah.
So now where he's made a combat action, the first thing you have to do is move the closest unengaged model to the closest unengaged model.
Okay, so that'll be this guy.
Yep.
Going straight to him.
So where you've done a double action, all your guys, everyone has a standard movement of 6 unless stated otherwise. So these guys can move up to 12 inches now, and they've got to go to an unengaged model if they can. So it's pretty much going to be one on one.
Yeah, so they'll move to there and to there.
Yep.
Okay.
So now we've gone into combat, we can enter a combat card phase, and this is where we play cards. If I've got any cards, I'd play them first. And each card has a common and a specific ability, denoted with C and S.
Yep.
If you want to use the S ability, somewhere they have to have the keyword. So if it's like sword, they need to have a sword. If it's Fight School Vargan, they need to be with Fight School Vargan. So I'm just having a look at my characters at the moment.
So just checking my hand here and seeing what I can do.
Yeah, and sometimes you need to look at the commons, because you might find that a common ability is still just as good. Like, for example, on my Wave of Fear, I could use the common ability now, because I know I might not get a chance of getting Wave of Fear off, so I might as well use the common ability of it.
Yep.
But as it is, I'm not playing any cards, but John has the opportunity to reply with just 1 card now.
Yep. I'm going to play one card, I think.
Okay.
And I'm going to play Talhoffen Riposte.
Yeah, so this means that John gets to reroll all his defensive dice, and he also gains a blue dice in combat. So, because it's one-on-one fight, that's quite good at the moment, because all my attacks are going to be concentrated on John.
Yeah.
So by the shift factor, he's getting to reroll his dice. He's going to make himself more survive, and he's made himself that bit more deadly.
Yeah.
So, so once the cards have been played, you'd play them backwards. So if we had a little card to Tarte, we'd be going back round through, so you can use it sometimes to have cards cancel out other cards. So as it is, that card goes off, so that character gets to use Talhoffen Riposte.
Okay. So are we doing that right now? Or
so the card goes off, so it means that you get to use the abilities. So what happens now is that we attack in like an initiative order, whereas it's a situation awareness level order. So again, to work that out, as earlier I said, a white is 1, a blue is 2, and a red is 3. So my highest character is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but because he's got bulky 2, he's knocked down to 4.
Yeah. And I'm basically the same, so because I have 1 blue, which is 2, and 2 whites, which is...
But then you're bulky armor, so you get taken down to 3.
Yeah.
So all the other guys are 3. So what's going to happen is my guy's going to attack first, and then it's going to be simultaneous between the rest of this combat.
Okay.
So my guy's combat is the cross sword. So he's got 2 blues, a white. That's in his stat. Then in his traits, his all Druggoi models, the characters in armor, aggressive white dice. So he's going to gain a white dice. And then his polearm gives him a blue dice. So I've actually not done too bad.
That's actually pretty good, yeah.
So I've got a skull and 3 cross swords.
So
now John gets to roll his defensive dice, which is the shield symbol.
So for my shield, let me see here. Where are you? It's a blue and 2 white to start with.
Yeah.
So where did my pile of dice go?
Oh,
They're all
you
stole them all now.
I've stolen them.
Thanks.
Yeah, I was doing that in the Let's Show game as well.
So
I'm a dice hogger.
A blue and 2 white. My armor adds 2 red.
Yes.
So that's awesome. And riposte adds...
It means you get to re-roll the dice.
I get to re-roll them.
The only thing is though, my halberd has got the high impact rule, so I get to take 1 dice away.
Okay.
So, and it can only be taken from armor, so that's why we have stats, armor, and traits in different places. So sometimes stats can be affected, sometimes armor can be affected, but traits can never be taken away.
Yeah.
So I'm going to choose to take 1 of your red dice out.
All right. So I'll drop 1 of those. So I'm still coming at you with 2 white, a blue, and a red.
Yes.
Okay. So let's.
So that red dice is a good to have.
Yeah.
If you can get that super critical off. So, looking here, if he wanted to, he could re-roll his dice, but he's equaled me, so there's no need to risk it, because he could re-roll some of them to get a blank,
and
then take the wound. So, as it is, you might as well just leave it. But it's the potential, because where you knew I had that high impact weapon, is that's what the riposte has helped you for. So as it is, you're okay. So we now go to situation awareness step level 3. So as I'm the active player, I do my attacking first or any movement that needs to be done.
Yep.
Henchmen always attack together. Heroes always attack as individuals. So first of all, I'll attack with my glutton model.
Yeah.
So my glutton has 2 blues, a white, and then his aggressive blue. So he's getting 3 blues and a white. So this little henchman potentially could not be too great.
Yeah.
So he's rolling his dice. He gets a critical and a success.
But you almost fluffed it.
I did almost fluff it. Thanks for that, John.
I just had to let him know.
So now you've got the defensive roll to make on your
on my axeman. So my axeman has, for defense, he has 3 white, which is his base defense. And to add to that, medium armor and shield, which is a blue and another white. So he's pretty good in defense, actually.
Yes.
So let's have a go and see if we can hopefully match that out. And yeah, we do.
Yeah, you do. So you got a critical and 2 successes. So his survived.
Thank goodness for that.
Yeah, he lives to fight another moment.
Yeah, it's not even another day. It's just a moment.
And then I've now got my Druggoi model, and he's rolling only 3 white dice in combat. So Druggoi are very much like, they're better in numbers than individuals. So we'll see how he gets on. I could still, though, roll 3 criticals but I don't. I get 1 success. So let's see how John gets on with that.
So that's against my other axeman.
That's against your other axeman.
So my other axeman's still coming at you with the same from previous.
Roll.
So that is 4 white and a blue. So let's see what happens here. If I fluff this, I'm going to have to buy someone a drink or...
But
no, I'm
he
good.
quite clearly has not. With 2 criticals and 2 successes, he is fine. So that's my attack for that combat. Now John gets to do all his stuff in the situation awareness. So he's got the choice now of attacking with all henchmen at the same situation awareness level or his character models.
So what would I like to start off with? Really, in a combat like this?
This combat, because where it's like 1-on-1, it's very much not here or there.
Yeah.
Whereas if it was you had lots of henchmen on lots of different creatures, you might want to attack with a glutton first, so that means that the henchmen are concentrating on one character more.
Yeah.
If you can get rid of them. On this one, it's pretty much it's neither here nor there
half and
who
half,
you
really.
use.
Yeah. So let's have a look then. I think I'm going to go with the hero first.
Yeah.
Because I think he just looks awesome. So I'm just going to go with that. Go with the cool factor here. So for his attack, his base attack is 1 blue and 2 white. And on top of that, when he's a hero in his traits, it's +1 blue.
Yes, he's getting a plus blue for his fight school. Talhoffen gives them. It's a fencing fight school, so it's all about 1-on-1 combat. So that's why he's getting the plus blue to combat.
Okay, and his greatsword adds a red and another blue.
So he's got a very special greatsword. It's made of Nomian steel, which is like imagine like Valerian steel or something special like Andril or whatever.
Yeah.
And as well, don't forget you've got the blue dice from your card, so you made yourself defensive and aggressive at the same time.
So another blue.
And then in my defense, in a minute, I'm going to be able to defend against that because where it's 1-on-1, I've only got 2 blues, a white, a red for my armor, and a white because they're resilient. So he's already quite a lot on me.
Yeah. So, right, let's just see what happens then. And.
So 3 criticals is actually a really good roll, and I think I'm gonna struggle to save myself against this.
Yeah.
So I'm rolling my dice now. So I've managed to get.
You've cancelled 2.
I've managed to get 2 criticals and a success.
Yep.
So my 2 criticals take out 2 of John's criticals. My success takes out 1 of John's success. Now. It doesn't matter how many successes you've got, it only ever causes 1 wound. So I've got 1 wound from the success and 1 wound from the critical. So I have taken 2 wounds. And Druggoi don't like getting hurt. They don't mind if their little minions get hurt, but they don't like it when it happens to themselves. So I'm going to gain 2 fear tokens for that.
Okay.
I do have some sneaky cards to play, though, as the Druggoi.
Okay.
They have one called Unnatural Vigor. It's quite an expensive card to put in their deck because it can be quite nice for them. For every wound that I've lost, I get to roll a white dice, and if I get a roll of a blank on the white dice, it goes through, and if I get a face dice, I've stopped it. So I've got a 50% chance of not taking a wound. So I've only taken 1 of those wounds.
Yeah.
So I'm only now on 1 fear and 1 wound. So. I wish the favour went a little bit more in my way, but still I can't complain that the odds were on my side.
Yeah.
But because we're playing a legacy game in this one, and we're going to see how it goes, because John successfully did a wound on me, he gets to, we have like the momentum trackers, which you can use to track in-game experience to use at the end. So that's his character number 2.
Yep. That
gets to have 1 point to help him go up. And
Okay.
The sample ones are a little bit tight, so
that's fine. So he's got it.
So that's that. That's John's character model with the hero done. So now it's his 2 henchmen. So henchmen, we all fight at the same time. This represents just like the henchmen's mass brawl. So it's like the heroes and the leaders are that moments in the movies where you see them fight and it's all concentrated around them, whereas everyone else in the background is just like, ugh.
Everyone else in the background is doing anything possible to stay alive and kill.
Yeah, exactly. So
the heroes know what they're doing. Right, so we're going to be doing this like sort of obviously like a split combat because it's 1-on-1 again, but it's all henchmen.
Yeah, so what happens is that you roll all your attack dice, and then I have to split the hits between the two guys. So anyone that's in base contact with the characters that are attacking, I get to split their attacks against them. Okay. So the idea is with heroes, swarm one with henchmen, and you'll take a character model down. Yeah. Or with other characters, then they're definitely going.
So for my 2 axemen that are in there, their attack is 3 white basic plus another white for having an axe.
Yeah, so an axe isn't a great weapon to have. Like anyone can pick up an axe anywhere. So you're going to get a total of 8 white dice.
6. 2 more, please.
I'm again hogging them.
Yeah, I noticed. So let's try this then and see how the axemen do.
Not too bad, really.
No, not
They've got 2 crits and a success. So how this works now is that I have to allocate them out on the miniatures. So I've got to allocate each. I choose which face dice I'm allocating, and then I've got to do it like Monopoly houses. So if I did the skulls, I'd have to put 1 skull on one model, then another on another. Yep. Whereas if I do the sword first, I can do it a different way. But as it is, I'm going to put 1 skull on each, and then I don't really want my glutton's more like, see, this trouble. My glutton's a bit more defensive, but he could take 2 wounds if I do it. But I'm going to risk it, so I'm going to put it on the glutton. So if I go to defend the glutton first, he's got in defense 2 blues and a white, and then his resilient white. So as it is, if I bring back John's dice, I've managed to cancel out the sword, but only skulls can cancel out skulls. So I haven't been able to cancel out the skull, so a wound still goes through. Okay. So I gain a wound on my glutton. They've got 5 wounds as a glutton hero, so they're quite resilient. Yeah. And again, like I said earlier, like my characters don't care that they're getting wounded, so I won't gain a fear token for that. Yeah. So that's why, again, as fighting against the Druggoi, you need to take out their Druggoi models as fast as possible. Yeah. Now I'm rolling for the Druggoi. So he gets 3 white dice in defense. So again, you can see they're not that brilliant. And I got a sword. So a sword can't take out a skull. No. So that's the Druggoi out of action. Because we're playing a legacy game, when a miniature is taken out of action, we roll white dice. Okay. So
both of us, or
no? Just the one that's just the person that's lost the character. Okay. With henchman, if I roll a blank face, he's dead and he's written out my warband. Yeah. If I roll a face dice, I can use him again. Okay. So I've rolled a face dice, so that's fine. So he's not written out of my warband. Yeah. So John has actually come out on top of that
at the minute. But you still have to attack as well.
No, I've done all my attacks.
Oh, have you done your attacks?
I've done all my henchmen and my glutton, because I remember I said that the henchmen are not very. They've only got 3 white dice, and you were very defensive, being an axe and shieldman. Okay. So I no longer have any momentum to spend. So therefore, my turn ends as the active player. So in the end phase, the first thing you do is check victory conditions. Then it's morale. I've got 1 fear token on my unit. Yep. How we work out how much they can have until they're broken, it's your morale level. If it beats it or equals it, you're broken. Okay. So my morale level is 2 blues, which is 4. So I've only got 1 fear token. I'm not broken. Yeah.
And I think I'm okay.
Yeah, you should be okay. You've taken no fear.
No fear. So I'm good.
So no one's broken. So we now remove our our momentum points from the table.
Okay.
And then as the active player, I regenerate all my characters in the warbands command level, which is 7. So I'm up to 7 to use. And then John, as the reactive player, only regenerates his leader's command. Okay. So that's the crown.
2.
Your leader is the...
Oh, sorry. My leader is... it's a blue and a white, so 3.
3. So you're going to gain 3. So John, what he did then was quite tactical. So he only spent 3, so he was going to get 3. So now we're on equal footing. I've got 7 and John's got 7.
So this could be a turn where I can really screw, or you can try and screw with me, but I have the momentum to try and
if I overspend now, because I'm like, well, I got 7, I'll try and react as much as possible. I'm then going to go into my active turn with that little bit less. So now the roles are reversing. So now you're the active player, and I'm the reactive player. The first thing you do every turn is draw your leader's commanding cards. So again, like we just said, yours is 3, mine is 3. So we're going to gain another 3 cards. There's no hand limit in the game. But by the sheer fact you're only drawing like potentially 3 cards, is that there's a limit of how many cards you'll draw throughout the game.
Right,
so now it's down to you.
All right. The first thing I want to do is get this unit here, which is these guys. I want to get them starting to move around this house up towards the combat that's on this camera. So these fellas down here, I want them to start shifting up the way.
Another reason why John wants to do that is because if you manage to charge in an already pursuing game, is that all the models that charge into a unit, so if he has that unit if he has this unit here charging into that one, all those models are going to gain a blue dice in combat for that first round. So outflanking people or caught them unawares is a dangerous thing for me if he gets that off. So I'm not going to want this to happen.
So what I'd like to do is try and make a double move just to get in there.
Well, if your guys move 12, it's potential to happen.
So I'm going to put the 2 momentum down. I think this is the target. Here, basically. And so I just go for it, or are you going to contest this?
No, I am going to contest this because I do not want it to happen.
Okay.
So, my guys, these guys, the henchman only move 5, but he moves 12. So I potentially could have a decision to make. Do I just charge him out by himself to see if he can stop it from happening, and then bring these guys up, or do I try and go with everyone? So I'm gonna. So at the moment is that he could get 12, so I could make a conga line, so that's fine. Because if I win as well, I can choose the middle. So there's, it's just if he wins, I'm most likely not going to be able to reach at all. No. So I don't want him to win here, but I am going to try and stop this from happening.
Okay.
So if it does fail, I just have to move as far as I can towards what the target unit was. So I will still end up around the middle of the area, but I wouldn't have stopped it from happening. So again, we're making that roll now. My character situation awareness is a blue and a white. I'm going to gain a white because you're doing a double move, and then your guy has got 2 bulky items, I believe.
So equipment. No, he's bulky 1.
And then I think his hammer gives him in his armor.
No, it's only his armor's doing it.
Right, we'll see how we get on.
Group size 1. Okay.
So I gain 1 for that. Your situation awareness
is 3 white.
And then I'm doing a double move.
Okay, so 3 white plus another white?
And then I'm bulky 1, so you're going to get another white.
Another white.
So you're the active player now, so you're rolling your dice first, and I'm trying to defend against it, if you know what I mean? So we're the opposed rolls. So if you roll your dice first.
Okay.
And I hope for a lot of blanks now.
All blank except 1.
Oh. I should have. I see if I can do that again throughout the game. So I hope for lots of criticals now. Oh.
None.
So unfortunately, because I'm the defender, my cross swords cannot cancel out as critical. So John gets to dictate the order of play. So imagine you want to hit.
I'm going to get on in there.
So we resolve John's actions first. So John now gets to charge. Because all my miniatures are engaged, John can choose who he's going to hit. So only if it's an unengaged model. So he's got the choice now, if he's in range, for his leader to hit my hero or my glutton.
Well, I think my leader is going to hit your heroes. So he can do 12 inches now? Which gets him right in there, so that's not a problem.
This is not looking good.
So you have my hero and my leader on your hero. So the rest of the guys conga line up, they do 12 inches as well to the next model, or?
They can go 12 inches.
So they're going 12 too. So that's fine. Move this guy up to here. Right up to there. And then these guys just sort of fall in any order,
So your spearmen can fight on the back of people. So you could, if you wanted to,
have the 2,
because you're already doing quite well on there. My advice for you is to put your spearmen onto just the glutton.
Yep.
Because if you put them on the hero, all of a sudden I get to spread the attacks between the 2 miniatures.
Yep.
There is only one thing as well, and admittedly I forgot to do it in the last turn, is that because I've got 2 terrifying creatures, you are going to gain 2 fear. So from last turn you should have got that. So you are building up the fear right now. So you've got 4 fear, but that unit there's got a high morale. The Eightfold Path, because they use the morale as the resource, have also got quite a high threshold for it.
Yeah.
So so you're now in. We'll resolve mine now after the combat's done. Okay. So again, we now get to play cards if we have any cards.
That's fine. So that'll do, mate. I know what I'm going to be trying to run.
So as your active player, you play the first card.
Okay. So I'm going to first play Calming Aura, which players play at any time, remove 1 fear token from the unit.
Yep, so because he's playing the common ability of that,
yep.
When we lay it to the side. So that's just when we go back through the card play, is that you can remember what position you played.
Yep.
Again, I'm going to be playing a common ability because I know I'm not most likely going to get that spell that I wanted to get off earlier, Wave of Fear. The common ability, I gain a white dice. In my model that I'm playing on, gains a white dice in combat for every fear he has. So where I have 1 fear, I'm going to gain 1 white dice.
Okay. I'm then going to put down Deadly Cut, Sword or Greatsword. Yep. So that gains me a bit more attackiness, doesn't it?
Yeah, Deadly Cut is going to let him move success to a critical, or if he had a red dice, he can move a critical to a super critical.
Yeah.
So it's quite a nice card to play.
Still thinking.
I'm going to play again the common ability of Spiritual Shield. So play when a unit is a target of attack. Because my unit's being attacked in combat, I'm going to be able to do it, and for every critical I roll, my miniatures gain a white dice in defense.
Okay. And my last one I'm going to play is Numerous Foes. And I have to declare which one, the common or the specific, don't I?
Yeah. I have a bit of advice for that card.
Go on.
Is that I'd probably save that for when I charge this unit in. Because that card, he's got a fight called Florexin, and it's all fighting about multiple opponents. With that card, he's going to gain a blue dice for every enemy model in combat. So if you played it now, you're going to gain 2. Yeah. Whereas if you play it when these guys come in, you're going to gain potentially a lot. Between 5 to 7 blue dice.
Fair enough. That is going back in my hand then.
But now John has played that card, I now get to choose to play 1 more card, and I'm not liking the look of Deadly Cut at the moment. And the guy that can play this card might be dead at the end of this turn, so I'm going to play it now. And his fight score it's not that good a fight score, but it's got a nice card that lets him cancel out 1 ability card of your opponent during the turn. So I'm going to play that card. Okay. So that's the card play over, and this is why we don't have a deck of card hand, because obviously in one instant we've gone through a lot of cards. Yeah. You're going through a heck of a lot of options. Yeah. But the game can be played without cards. Yep. And another thing that the cards is quite good is it means is that you don't necessarily have to use the miniatures that we've done. So if you've got a game and you want to just pick it up, you can just come in and play, because the main rulebook is going to be free. Yep. So it means that you can just get in going with some cards and stuff. So we play it backwards. So I get to choose 1 card to cancel out in a minute when John gets to play it. Yep. I'm now going to do a Magicka test. And for every critical I roll, every model in the unit gains a white dice in defense. I managed to roll 1. So I'll just leave that with them and a white dice on it. Okay. John now is playing Deadly Cut. Yep. I don't want that to go off, so I've cancelled it. So both cards go into our discard pile. Okay. I now gain the common ability of Wave of Fear. So my hero model is going to gain a white dice to combat. Okay. And then John gets to remove that 1 fear token. Yeah, so I take this 2-1 away and I'll just replace it with a 1. So I'm at 3 fear instead of 4. Yes. So then that card will go to discard. Yep. And we're now going to go through combat again. So we go through, now we're fighting, we go through our initiative order. So my highest was 4. I don't know what your new leader is at. I think he's only 2 with. Leader is 3. It's the I. Oh, sorry, the I. And then for every bulky, 3. You'd -1 from it. Yep, so 3 minus 1. Yes, he's up to 2. So I get to do my attacks first. So I gain the 1 white dice for the Wave of Fear. common ability. I have 2 blue and a white for my stat. I have a white for being aggressive and a blue for my weapon.
Okay.
So I haven't done brilliantly again. I've only got 3 swords. So John now, because I'm in base contact with 2 characters, John has to separate them between the 2. So now he's made it not a one-on-one fight. I'm having to concentrate on 2 people now.
Yeah.
So he can spread this apart. And yeah, so this guy's got parry, the guy with sword, so he's probably the best one to take the most dice.
Yeah, so I've a feeling that the 2 of them are going to go on to him, and 1 is going to go on to this guy.
Yeah.
So I'll defend with him first.
Yep.
So I need to get his defense. He's still pretty good in defense. So.
And not that as well. He's got the sword, which is the parry roll, and the parry roll is the same as the deadly cut. So you get to with the sword, you'll get to make success go to a critical, or if you had a red dice, critical on the red dice to go to a super critical.
Yeah. While I ruin the terrain.
Yeah, I don't know who made it.
Not a clue. There's a vlog somewhere. You'll know. You'll find out then. You're not hitting me with anything that will remove.
I have got the high impact 1,
Yeah.
so I can choose to remove 1 dice.
Okay.
And he's taking the most hits. I'm going to choose to remove 1 of his red dice.
Okay, so I only run in with 1, and that's it. So
John's
two
only got to
white.
get 2 successes on this, which should be done.
You say that.
Yeah.
No.
Oh my god! I'm going to try this tactic more often. So, unfortunately, you can't even use the parry because you can't change a blank to a success.
No.
So I've managed to get 1 wound through to John.
Yep.
On his character. So I managed to get my character to have 1 little bit of experience. John's going to take that wound, and he's going to take that fear that
I spent so long to get rid of.
He spent the card to get rid of it.
Yep. So it's fine.
John's going to say, "Don't say what the outcome should be, Adam. Don't do it."
Just it was as bad when
quiet.
Bad when we were playing other games. It's like just roll anything but a 2. Never worked.
And now you get to defend your leader.
Yep. So my leader.
I am staying quiet, John. Now.
Good. 2 blue and a white. I believe that's all his base defense is. No. He has the same armor as Franz as well, so he gets 2 red.
And then I believe his fight school Florexin should give him a white dice in defense as well.
Yep, you're right. So another one. That's fine. And you're not removing any of these this time, are you?
Nope. My high impact's been used. It's only high impact 1 on Franz.
Oh, thank goodness.
So
that's what I should have rolled.
He's also got another success there, so he's super fine.
He's not just fine, he's super fine.
So now we go to situation awareness level 3. So John is now the active player, so if he's got any models to move, he'll move them first.
Yep.
So from what I said to you earlier, is that it's probably best to not move him in against the hero, otherwise all these guys I get to split again between, because all the henchmen would be in base contact with 2 models. So if he moves him into the glutton, all those attacks are going on the glutton. So this is how you can take down a big creature, surround it, because its attacks have to be spread across now all of you.
Yeah.
But all your attacks are concentrating on me.
So I'm moving the henchmen
up to 3 inches.
And these guys can roll around too?
Yes, so if you want to keep them safer, one thing that we have is that as long as you stay in base contact with the models that you started the combat with, is you can move around their bases. Just that makes it a little bit free-flowing for a skirmish game, so you're not all of a sudden, like, especially as well if you've got your 40 mil plus character at the back and he's just sat there because no one else is in front, just mashing up, he just stood there like going, all right, what's going on?
All right, so I can move him to roll around.
I'll bring these guys in a minute. They're just doing nothing.
Yeah. He could move further around, couldn't he? Or is he allowed to do that?
So what you could do is, my advice is that now is, because obviously you want to spread the attacks, is to actually have the spearman on him and not have him as supporting. Yeah. It's like you said, so this guy can almost move all the way around to there. He could move around to there, and you've got space for
the spearman to get
in.
Yep.
So now because before where the spearmen, even though they're supporting it at the back, it meant that you can allocate my attacks out to them. Whereas now what John's done by doing that is that my 4 dice that I have in attack, 4 dice I have in attack can be spread across 5 people.
Yeah. So someone's getting off scot-free.
Yeah. So then on the movement of the situation awareness level, because I don't have any to move, so now we do the attacks. So John, you can either choose to do all your henchmen now, or your character?
I'll do all the henchmen now.
Great.
We'll get rid of that glutton.
So even though they've got different weapons, they all attack at the same time. So it's all about what situational awareness level you're at.
Yeah, and because it's all on one model, I don't have to worry about separating the attacks out. It's just one bucket of dice.
Yeah, well, you never have to worry about what. It's for the defender to then start separating the dice out. So you don't have to worry. So as the attacker, you just get to pick up a handful of dice, throw them, and then I have to worry.
Yes. So I have three axemen?
Yeah, 3 axemen and 2 spearmen.
And 2 spearmen. Oh, good lord. So the 2 spearmen, they're 3 whites each. So that's 6. And then the axemen, there's 3 of them, which is another 9. 12 actually. 3, 6, 7, 8.
Oh, I got this one. It would
9.
be 9.
Are you sure it would be 9?
Oh yeah, and then they got this.
Then they have a
got
plus
this.
1.
Yeah, I did drop one earlier.
Yeah.
And then we've got another 2 over there.
2 there. So
and then you forgot the 2 blue dice from the spears.
Yeah.
So his henchman, because he's swarming with his whole force at the moment, that glutton is not feeling too good.
I don't think our dice camera is actually big enough for to handle all of this.
Quick, let's move the well.
Yeah, let's move the well. Yeah, that'll do.
So even though John was rolling a lot of white dice, what the white dice is that there's a 50% chance of each one missing.
Yep.
So out of that, he's got a lot of misses. So white dice are not always the be-all and end-all of a game. No. It's still horrible because it's all on one character. Mm-hmm. So if we put the thing back, because I like the little well. So
it's very busy.
So I've got 1 critical and 2, 4, 6, 8 hits. So as long as I can get rid of that critical, I'm only going to take 1 wound. Mm-hmm. And people quite like this that we've been playtesting it with, because it's like other traditional skirmish games, it's like the 1 dice and you just feel like your 1 dice has done nothing, whereas you get that feel of power. So my defensive dice roll is 2 blues, and if you could pass me a white, and I got another white because of resilient, and then I played that spiritual shield card,
which is another white.
So I've got 3 white and 2 blues. So I managed to get that critical that I needed.
Yep.
And I got 1 sword. So the critical cancels out his critical. I cancel out one of the many swords, but it doesn't matter how many swords that John rolls, I only take 1 wound.
Yeah.
So it's to show that even though you've got a lot of attacks, they're only like little nicks or flesh wounds, or so I'm going to take.
One guy has managed to strike home.
Yeah, one guy is put the spear in the gut. So I've taken another wound. Luckily, again, he's a 5 wound character, so he's quite a tough guy to beat.
Yeah.
You now get to attack with your leader.
Uh-huh.
Oh, you're not your leader, sorry, your hero.
My hero, yeah. So the hero gets the... I was just laughing at how many dice that was. It's the most dice I've seen this roll so far. So attacking is blue, 2 white. His greatsword gives him another blue and a red. And his skull as well gives him another blue.
Yes.
So he's quite good on the attack, actually.
He is,
He's pretty strong, so let's give it a go.
Oh, no.
That's good.
He's got the super crit.
I like that.
So the scary thing about super crits is that the red dice is the only other dice that has a super crit.
Yep.
So if I was a henchman character, or as a character that didn't have any red dice in defense, it's an auto 2 wounds because it's got a skull and a cross swords. So it's going to be an automatically 2 wounds. So I hope that my red saves me. So I have a blue, a white because I'm resilient, a red because of my armor, and then a white because I got that spell off.
Okay.
And I got a crit and a success. So I've cancelled out those. So John now has a crit and 2 successes, so he would do 2 wounds. Mm-hmm. So that's 2 wounds done to my... have you got another wound token over there?
Yeah. Do you want a single?
The blood drops.
Oh, the blood drops.
So I've got 2 wounds. Mm-hmm. Luckily for me still, I'm being a bit jammy here with my card draw, because that would be him dead. But I've got a cleric's remedy, which is play at any time, which is I can recover 1 wound. So I'm only on 1 wound. I still take all the fear and stuff that I would have to do. So I've still gained another 2 fear for that unit. Oh, so I'm on to 3. But I've stopped him from just dying.
Yeah.
And then because your character model has done another 2 wounds to me, he gets to
goes
rest
up again.
2 more on his legacy tracker.
Up to 3.
Yep. So that's John's action resolved. So I get to resolve mine now. So he's moving up to the token. So you always have to place at least 1 miniature to the token that is, or well, for this case, though, I have to move as far as possible. And then now I get to come up with the other guys.
Mm-hmm.
So, so John's got some choices here. He can activate another round of combat, and if I want to charge in, he's got the potential with a conflicting action to do the combat first and do some damage to me before I get to fight.
Yeah. Which I'm going to do.
So John wants to activate a round of combat.
Yep.
And I'm going to charge in.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm spending 1 momentum. Well, so John first commits to the 1 momentum to fighting.
Okay, so will I just put that in with...
Yes, just put it on your 2. Because now your unit joins together.
Mm-hmm.
There is a limit for how many men you can have in a unit, but when it comes to combat, you become 1 mega unit.
Yeah.
And at the end of combat, if I lost all my miniatures the turn, you'd have to split them down into what they're going to be.
Yeah.
So my reaction is to charge in, hopefully, before you attack.
Okay.
So it's a conflicting action again. So John works out his character's higher situational awareness.
Okay.
I'm also going to be a little bit cheeky here, though, and I'm going to state that I'm going to leave 2 Druggoi behind.
All right.
And what they're going to do, if they manage to do anything afterwards, is they're going to creep up on that gnome. Don't tell John.
So do I go by the highest situational awareness in that whole combat? So that it doesn't have to be my leader, it can be the hero as well?
So your hero at the moment, who's like, I think he's got a blue, 2 whites, so he'd be 4 down to 3.
He's 4 down to 3.
Whereas your leader is 3 down to 2. But you can even use your henchmen.
Mm-hmm.
So your spearmen are all at 3. So no matter what, you're at 3. But I'd much rather use the guy that's got blue dice.
Yeah. So we'll be using him. So he's 1 blue and 1 white.
I know you still get to use it all, but
he still gets to use it all.
He's got the better dice, so he's using. So he's actually he's the higher anyway.
Yeah.
So but I've got a bulky guy, so you're going to gain a white dice.
Okay.
And then I get, for my situational awareness, is a blue and 2 whites.
Mm-hmm.
You only ever count whoever is the highest one. So where you've got 2 guys that are bulky 1,
mm-hmm.
I'm not going to gain 2 dice. I only gain whatever the highest is. So I'm going to gain 1 dice. So I think we're on an equal footing. Just that John's the active player, so there's more chance of him winning in this. So you roll your dice first.
Okay.
So John's got a critical and a success, and I've got to try and defend against this now. So
Which you do.
With 2 criticals and a success, I get to 1 critical can take out 2 cross swords. The other critical takes out the other critical. I get to dictate the order of play.
Yep.
So I'm obviously going to want to charge first.
Mm-hmm.
John now has to make a decision. He can either choose now to fight another round of combat afterwards, or forgo the second round of combat, but he still has that momentum point spent.
Mm-hmm. I'm not.
So we're just going to have 1 round.
Yeah, we're just going to have 1 round.
So all of John's models are engaged, so I can choose any miniature I want to engage with. I'm not liking this team up, so we're gonna have him go on him. I said I was going to leave 2 guys behind, and I think I'm going to try. Remember, as the Druggoi you'll play, you want to kill their henchmen as fast as possible and build up their fear.
Yep.
So I'm going to try it and double team this little spearman.
Okay.
You are going to gain another fear token now, because you've been charged by another terrifying creature.
Yep. So another token in there. That puts me up to 5.
Yeah, but luckily for John, as the his leader, his morale is 2 blue. Eightfold Path always gain a blue dice to morale, and the Morning Star that's got the blue bellowing smoke is that they believe it's a cleanse to the curse, so it gives them a morale boost, which is adding them another 2 blue dice to morale. So John's got 4 blue dice for that character. You can have 8 fear before you do before you start worrying.
Yeah.
So they're fine. So we now go through, and one thing as well that's quite good is this, it shows that you can join and split units during or the end of action. So that's how I've been able to leave this unit here now, and I can start doing stuff with it. So now we've charged in, we're going to go through a round of card play again. So, John, if you want to see what cards you've got to play.
Yep. So, what would be, here's the question, what would be useful for me at this juncture?
A lot of the Eightfold Path cards, because again, if you had one that could if you had Stand Against the Darkness, you can take away all your fear and convert that into attacks. You've got another card which is Smite the Unclean, which is a picture of a head being cleaved off. If you had that, you gain, every model in your unit gains as many white dice as my highest current wound model count character. So I currently have one with 5 wounds left, so every model would gain 5 wounds. You had that Florixen card you talked about earlier.
Yeah.
If you were to play that now, that one character would gain 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blue dice in combat.
Okay.
So it's like, because I know he's got that one, it's probably best you start with that.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm looking at my cards here and I'm thinking I'm not at risk of anybody dying anytime soon.
No.
So yeah, I think I'm going to start with you're the active player at the minute, so I have to wait for you, don't I?
No, you're the active player.
I'm the active player. Yeah, I am. Okay. So I'm going to start with Florixen.
Okay.
And
so he's playing the special ability of this.
Yep, the numerous foes.
Yeah, so for so like we said a minute ago, he's going to gain, because I got 5 models in that combat, he's going to gain 5 blue dice. This isn't very good. I wish I saved Vazukov for that. So I can cancel it out.
Do I have to pick one of my characters?
No,
for
it
that?
can, because it's the keyword in the middle is Florixen. It can only be used by your character with the Florixen fight school, which is your leader.
Okay.
I'm not going to play any cards. This can be a good tactic to use as well. If John knew potentially that I had that a lot of cards to play in my hand, as the active player, you can say, I'm not playing a card, which means I only play one card, and it stops your opponent from building up lots of cards.
Yeah.
So I just don't really have any cards to play, so I'm not playing a card, so John now only gets to play one more card. So if he wanted to make a good card combo, I've stopped him from doing that.
Yep.
But he could have a good card combo anyway, and
Could do. I'm actually going to play Duty's End, but I'm going to play the common.
Oh, okay.
So just the piercing strike.
Yep.
And I'll have to declare it, won't I?
You declare it as it's common, yeah.
Okay.
And if let me just double check to make sure. You declare which character it's going on, but point of advice is that the Dorians for a starter set, I've paid for them to have a Dorian armor, and it makes them immune to high impact, so that card ain't going to work.
Ah, right.
So I wouldn't play that card if I was you.
That's fine. Then that's the only card I'm going to play.
So that's the only card that we're playing. So we now get to go through a round of combat. I had a situation where it's level of 4, and I know that yours was 3, so I'm going to get to do my 4th character first. So that's going to be him.
Yep.
So his combat is 2 whites, a blue, aggressive white, and a blue for his weapon. So I've actually done quite well then.
That's a very good roll.
I don't know if they're all on.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. So I've got 3 successes and 2 crits. So John, now because I'm in base contact with your 2 character models, you can spread them out across either one of them.
Yep.
So if he was to do the criticals first, he'd have to put criticals on either one.
Yep.
Whereas if he does the successes first, you could put a success on each of them, then a success on that one. Then you could put, for example, a critical on him and then the next critical on him, depending on what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
But the choice is yours. So the thing is that we like to call it like Monopoly houses. You've got to fill the street before you can go on to the next one.
Yeah. I'm actually kind of happy enough with that layout, to be honest.
Okay.
So we'll do it as it's laid there at the minute. So the 2 criticals and the success are on the hero, and these 2 are on the leader.
And that makes sense as well, because the hero's got that parry, so he can make it so he changes 1 success to a critical. So he's only got to roll 1 critical to stop it from happening, and with a success.
Yep.
Again, I've got that high impact. I know that his hero model's already got that 1 wound, so I'm going to take away 1 of his red dice.
Okay, so I'm rolling in with 1 red dice, 1 blue and 2 white. And a blue. I believe that's all it is. Yeah, that's what it says, so let's try it. So we've got.
So, like we said, is that if he didn't have that parry, 1 wound would have got through, because the critical would count out 1 of the criticals.
Yep.
the sword would count on a sword, but a sword can't count out a critical. But because he's got that parry with the sword, he can change one of these to a critical. So he's got 2 criticals, 1 success. He's no longer wounded. So it is knowing where and when to place those critical dice as well.
Yeah.
Which is like a little nuance of the game more than a dead set. And it means that now his guy that's got that little bit lower defense, because he can't parry, has only got to defend against 2 successes.
Yeah. So in this case, his defense is 2 blue and a white plus 2 red. 2 blue, white, and 2 red, which, unless I horribly fluff it, is
unfortunately, like earlier, yeah. Keep my mouth shut.
So unless I fluff it, he should actually be okay. He's fine.
He's got a super crit, so
cool.
A super crit can get rid of another super crit, a skull and a crit, or 3 successes. So that super crit by itself is doing it. So that's that done. It's now situation awareness level 3, which for us is my glutton, my Druggoi, and my leader. And for you, it's all your henchmen and your hero. So as the active player, you do all your moves and attacks first, and then I do all mine afterwards.
Okay. So I'm starting with...
So you've got the choice of all the henchmen or the hero with the sword.
I think I'm just going to go with the henchman, to be honest.
First thing we do is those move all our miniatures. So where you're not moving mine, I'm going to do something here. I'm going to... My character, because as long as he stays in base contact with him, he's now spinning and ending base contact with both of them. And what I've done from that is I've made it so his character with the sword is not only fighting my already guy that's had a bit of a beating. So... So yeah, I'm hoping to keep him alive now because I get to spread those attacks. And because Alia has 2 swords, he's got 2 of those parries. So he's quite a good defensive character.
So do I now then move?
Well, you would have moved first. So you could have spun him around to there. So you can also do stuff to stop it if you wanted. If you span him round to there, by the sheer fact that I'm trying to do that, as I can't get in contact with you, so you can also use it to defend yourself. So you could have done that first before I got to do that.
But I couldn't have because I'd said the...
Because where you went, like... Because technically, like, you'd move all your guys first, and if you said, I'm happy, I get to move mine. But obviously, it's a training game, so if you want to do that, you could do that.
Yeah, well... this is something I would have to learn against Justin, so I think if we did that, I'll try and keep that in my head for the next time. So.
Oh, so if we go back to... Yeah,
well, let me get the punishment for it.
Yeah.
But in the grudge match, maybe I'll remember that and be like,
It's another little thing. It's just a small little rule, but it's one of those little things that can change the form of a game.
Right, so...
So you get the choice now of to attack with your character with a sword or your henchmen first.
Yeah, I think henchman.
Okay, cool. So again, you need all the white dice.
All the white dice. Because none of them have died yet, so they still have the 3 axemen and 2 spears.
Yes.
So that is a lot of dice.
But now though, where I've bought my extra Druggoi and I've got some of them on his henchmen, his attacks are going to be split onto split across more miniatures now. So my glutton's got that chance of surviving a bit more.
8.
You got another 3 there, and then
9, 10, 11, 12. That makes up the full thing. They have no blue dice or anything. Oh, the spears do.
Have 2 blue dice.
Spears have 2 blue dice, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's a lot of dice, though. Should we move the well again?
Yeah. Well, it's not in much of the way now, so we can keep it out of the way.
Yeah, true.
There's a new spring popped up here.
Yeah, over there, out of the way.
So again, the white dice, there's a lot of them, but it's still not... They're more cannon fodder dice, if you know what I mean. It's just get that feeling of a enduring battle, but yeah. So if we remove all the blanks... So we now have 7 successes and 2 crits. So I'm going to put a crit on the glutton, because he's got a lot of wounds, a crit on one of the henchmen, and then I've got a success, and then I've now got a lot to
sort of divvy out here.
Divvy out.
it still could be a fairly effective combat.
Well, yeah, because now I've got a choice here. Is I can either put one more on the glutton.
Yep.
And potentially have it, or I'm just trying to think now. Sorry, I'm just going through my head. Is that if I put this on there, is that I know he's definitely going to die because he's only got 3 defense white dice in defense. Whereas if I put it on the glutton's potentially only going to take 2 wounds. He's got 5, so it's fine. And I've got a very slim chance of keeping him alive.
Yeah.
So we're going to do for that. So if I do the one that I've got a very slim chance of doing, so I've got to get either 2 criticals or 2 successes and a critical. 2 successes, I've still got the critical, he's gone. So he's taken out of action. So we'll see if he's got a face dice, so I still get to keep him in my warband.
Yep.
So that's fine. I'll now roll for the guy that's got 3 swords on him. The other Druggoi, he's got a crit and a sword. So crit takes out 2 swords.
Yep.
And the other success takes out the other success. So he's fine. Because it's all the same situation awareness level, the guy that you did take out of action is going to still be able to attack you back.
Yeah.
And then my glutton has 2 blues and 2 whites. So he's got to get rid of 3 cross swords and a critical. So he got rid of the critical, which is good because it means I can't gain multiple wounds.
Yep.
But he's got rid of only 1 sword, so he's still got 2 swords, so he's going to take 1 wound.
Which puts him up to 3.
He's now got 3 wounds, so he's only got 2 left.
Yeah.
So your henchmen are getting at him.
Yep.
It's only because my other henchman came in to help support him with the attacks.
It's sort of watered down the effectiveness of my guys.
So you've now got your hero to attack with.
Okay. And let's have a look. So my hero, you're going to be removing dice from him, aren't you? So
Not from his attack strength, only from his defensive stuff.
Right,
I
okay.
can't remove stuff from his attacking.
that's fine. So he's coming in with 2 blue dice, 1 red dice, and 2 white. And you've
got all the white,
hogged all the whites again.
Well, it's because I'm just jealous of how much you're rolling at me.
That's
Wow.
nice.
So, so what I'm going to do here,
Is cry.
is I'm going to do the swords first. So that's going to be the halberd, and that's going to be Alia with the sword. So I've got another critical on the halberd guy, a critical on Alia, and then another critical. So I'm hoping that I'm going to get those successes with his parries to stop them going off. So if I do him first, his defense is 3 blue, a white for aggressive, and then a red for his armor. Yeah, just making sure I've got nothing else to go in there. So I've got 1 critical, and the unfortunate thing is that I can't make a parry from a blank to a success. So I'm only going to take it up to another critical. So I have been able to block the 2 crits, but I've still taken a wound from the success that went through.
And that pushes him up again on his experience.
So he's going to go up 1 more on his experience.
Yep.
If you could pass me another wound.
Yeah.
And again, Druggoi don't like being hurt, so I'm going to gain another fear. Druggoi's fear is only 4. So at the moment, at the end of this round, I've got a potential of being broken, which won't be good for me.
Right, so that's my hero done.
I've now got to roll for the other character model.
Yep.
So his defense is 2 blues, a white for resilient, and a red for his armor. And he's managed to get a super crit, so he's fine.
Yeah.
Right. It's now my situation when it's 3 characters. So I'm going to do my henchman first. So I've got 3 because there's 1 left, and then the one that you managed to take out of action. So I've managed to roll 2 successes. Because they're only in base contact with that 1 spearman, they're all on him.
Yeah, okay.
So you've got 2 successes to save on that spearman.
That's fine. The spearman is just... Let's see. Spearman is 3 white dice.
And a blue for his armor.
And a blue for armor. Okay, so... Let's move those out of the way a little bit. Oh.
So he got a critical.
Yeah.
So he can take out 2 cross swords, so he's alive.
Only just.
Well,
I can
just is good enough.
Just is good enough.
And now I have my glutton, which is 2 blues, a white, and a blue for his aggressive. I've managed to roll 3 successes and a crit.
Yeah.
So you've got 5 dudes to allocate this out to.
Yeah.
So
1. Just going to go ring around the rosies, to be honest. It doesn't really matter at this point in time.
No, not really.
Spearman.
So now you... Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I need to roll my defenses on each of those.
Individual one. So your spearman, it was 3 white and a blue.
So let's start with the spearman.
Yeah, and then the axeman, you're just going to add another white in.
Yep.
So he's fine.
He's fine. The next guy is a critical.
Critical.
It's
So
an axeman with a critical. So he adds an extra
white dice in there.
white dice. Yep. Okay. He's
So
fine.
he's
too.
fine.
So because that was a critical and 2 successes in there. Next one is just the same,
But with a success only.
Yep.
So he's fine.
He's fine. And the last one,
He's fine.
Yeah, he's fine too.
So, like, that's the thing of just swarming a character. It means that you make them very weak.
Yeah.
And you can slowly whittle them down.
Mm-hmm.
I've now got my character to fight. So he's got 3 blue, another blue, and 2 white.
Mm-hmm.
He's got 2 Dorian swords, and each one's high impact. So I can choose to take away 2 dice now.
Yep.
So I've managed to roll 2 crits and 3 successes.
Mm-hmm.
So you can allocate these out between your 2 characters in combat.
Yeah. So I think in this case, I'll do a crit on each.
Yeah.
So 1 there, 1 there, and 1 success. And can I put the other 2 onto?
Yes. So you've put the first one on the guy with the sword, and then the second one you can then put on who you like. So at this point, I'm going to decide to take the 2 red dice away from your leader, because I know that he's not got parry. So if he doesn't get that critical dice roll, it's not good for him.
Yep. So his standard, or his save at the minute then, is 2 blue, 1 white, and because of your ability, it's 1 red.
Yeah. I've taken away 2 of your red dice.
Have you taken? No, you've taken away both because.
Yeah, because he's got 2 high impact swords.
Yep. All right, so let's try that.
And he's also got a white from his fight school.
Oh, he does. Forgot about that. Well, that's
So he's got a critical and a success. He's managed to save it.
Saved it, so that's okay. And for the hero, you're still able to take away 2 dice?
No, it's
just 1.
They're just a one-off use. So I've decided to take those 2 red dice away, so he can't have any taken away.
That's fine. So 2 white, 1 blue, 2 red. And if I'm gonna jinx it now, because if he fluffs this, I'll be very upset. He did
He's
not.
got a super crit, so he's absolutely fine.
He's pretty good. Okay.
So now we go to situation when a step 2, which is your leader.
Right.
So now it's where the pain begins.
Well, we hope. So my leader, again, he's got these 2 models to fight against, so it's sort of split between them then, yeah? So his basic is 2 blue and a white. Plus 1 white for his trait. Cleanser is plus 1 red. Yeah, that's...
And then it'll be the 5 blue dice
for everything.
For his card that you played.
Okay, so 5 blue dice.
Yeah.
So 7 blue, 2 white, and a red. I like this. All right.
So luckily the red has got a blank for me, so I'm all right with that.
Yep. So let's get rid of the blanks.
So I've got 1 crit and 5 successes. So I'm going to put the critical on the guy that can parry. And then I've got successes. So I'm going to equal them out until I get to the last one. Well, actually, it ends up being 3 successes on 1 character and a crit and 2 successes on another. So I'll do the Karisi, the halberd guy at first. So his defense is 2 blues, a white for resilient, and a red for his armor.
Okay.
Apart from remember that I can't parry now, unfortunately, with Karisi because we've got a flail. But anyway, he's fine because he's got, that was a
3
success.
Yeah.
He's got 2 crits and success, so that's all blocked.
Yep.
And then like I said, because you've got a flail, the flail special rule is that I can't use parries whilst in contact with it. So I don't get my parries, but he's still quite good for defense. So he's got 3 blues, a white for his resilient, and a red for his armor.
Okay.
So I've got to get a crit or 2 successes. So I've got a super crit, 2 crits, and 2 successes.
So all good.
So we're all good.
Okay.
So that's that round of combat.
Yep.
So John has a few choices now, because that unit's only taken 3 momentum, so it can do one more thing. He can either do another round of combat, he could try and rally, which for 1 point he gets to take a morale check, and for each critical he rolls he removes a fear. Or he can do nothing. If John chooses to do nothing now, because I wouldn't be able to react to that, I can no longer try and remove fear, which means I'm broken. So
there's no point in me declaring another round of combat or anything. It's just I just go nothing, and then
so that's one thing to remember as the active player, is that even though he hasn't spent all his actions, you don't need to spend them all. Like, you will lose the actions he didn't spend, but sometimes
that's all right.
Overacting is a bad thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can choose to do nothing.
I will choose to do nothing.
And I'll quickly try and chuck and worry and see if I've got any instant play at any time that removes fear, but I don't. So, so John's decided to end the round.
Yep.
So first thing we'd check is victory conditions. Then we'd check to see if they're broken. I am unfortunately broken. Then what we do is nerve checks. If more than 50% of your force is broken, you'd have to see if you fail your nerve check. How we do this is I take a morale check using my morale stat, which is the flag. And for every other hero I have, I get to add another blue dice. So I add 4 blue dice. Everyone else would do on how many models they lost, is how many criticals they've got to score. The Druggoi can only worry about themselves. It's on how many Druggoi wounds they've taken. So I've taken a total of 3. So I need to get 3 criticals on this, otherwise my force flees. I've managed to roll 2 successes. My force flees. John wins the game.
Woo! So yeah.
Cheers. And
Good first game.
For winning the game, your leader will gain 1 extra point for winning. So his experience tracker goes up by 1.
So his experience is only 1.
Yeah. So I think the big man of the match for that game has to be your hero.
Yeah.
He killed a Druggoi over, but he just managed to just carry on staying in. But yeah. So I hope you enjoyed that game and saw that how the different characters presets that we do can do it. But again, you don't have to use them. You can just go off the bat and create your own characters.
And I think as well, because this is being played as a training match, I've sort of seen how your guys work, how they function, and when Justin's at them, I'm going to know a few things to look out for, especially model placement in combat when you're allowed to shift around.
Yeah, and you need to like swarm the big guy, try and get rid of the Druggoi character models as fast as possible, because as well, make it so they're not picking on your henchmen, because if Druggoi are eating your henchmen, they're cutting them down. As you would have seen in earlier videos, they got the chance of gaining more Druggoi models, whereas unfortunately, like, John has played a really good game. I don't know really why it was called a training video. It should have just been called Kill Adam video.
Well, it has been very interesting anyway, and this has been my first proper game of it, because before that we only ever chatted about it outside the studio. So yeah, this is going to be interesting now. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this one. Put your comments down below, let me know what you think of it. And I'll be looking forward to the grudge match now to see if I can actually beat Justin at something. So thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you again in the next one.
Cheers, guys.
Go ahead and check out our other content on screen now, and be sure to check out beastsofwar.com for the latest gaming news and gaming Let's Plays. And while you're at it, why not hit subscribe, and remember to ding our dong. Go on, you know you want to click it. Go on.